What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? I know everyone is having a legendary day. Y'all know what today is, right? Y'all know, right? Victory Tuesday. Victory Tuesday. Yay! That's what I call an ass whooping. Anyway, it was time to beat LA. Of course, you know Jason and I are going to break down the Niners 24-9 victory over the Los Angeles Yams. But before we do all that, we of course got to tell everybody use a promo code Victory Monday and save 10% off of all season 2 gear. Coupon expires tonight at midnight. Make sure to stay tuned to the end of the show to get your special 10% off coupon code for all season 2 for the Faithful by the Faithful Apparel. And save 10% by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link and help out Niner Faithful Radio. Link will be in the description of this podcast or video. Get your salute to service gear. It's coming up here pretty quick. Go to cgiant.com, use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio and Tumblr at Niner Faithful R. Jason does a bang-up job. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit ninerfaithfulradio.com/subscribe. Make sure you catch Jamie on and Jason on Good Morning Niner Empire at 7 p.m. this Friday. And check out our game day shows. Pre-game will be coming to you at noon here on the West Coast. Halftime will be, of course, at halftime. And Jamie will be going live with the post-game at 9 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, let's get the show cracking.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
All right, what's cracking, Jason?
What is up, everybody? It's Victory Tuesday. Weird saying Tuesday.
I love it.
It's usually Monday.
I know. That's why I didn't wear my Victory Monday shirt today, because I was kind of like, I
do
know
this or
it
not?
feels a bit kind of weird. And I was like, well, do I really want to make a Victory Tuesday shirt? So of course we're going to recap.
1 day a year.
Yeah, for 1 day a year. Well, 2 this year, but yeah. I mean, then what we're going to do, make Victory Wednesday, Victory Saturday. Like, I mean, let's
Right.
get real here, people. So just a few quick notes that I thought were pretty cool. Niners improved to 76, 68, and 3 all time against the Yams, 8 and 3 under Kyle Shanahan, 6 and 3 at Levi's. First game since week 1 in 2016, holding the Yams without a touchdown. We've won 4 in a row on Monday Night Football versus the Yams. We are now officially tied with Pittsburgh with the most wins on Monday Night Football history with 51. We're 11 and 4 in the last 15 games on Monday night. This one I thought was really cool. 6 straight home games, the first time ever at Levi Stadium. 9 and 2 under Shanahan without allowing a sack. We're 8 and 2 when we score a defensive touchdown. We're 7 and 1 when we get a pick six, and we're 24 and 4 when we hold a team to 17 fewer points. Robbie Gould passes Phil Dawson for 12th all time, point leader in NFL history. And there's a few more that I'll get to once we break down like offense and defense. But overall, your thoughts, Jason?
Same old sorry ass Rams. That's just,
I love it.
I mean, good game. It was a good team win. That granted you do have highlights, but that game took everybody between injuries and this and that was going on. So it's a good win.
I felt that it's when we needed, I guess, the quality football team that wasn't the Shecox. It was, let's be real, it's our first win that wasn't against the Shecox, where it felt like, okay, we're really that team. Because, yeah, it was a good game. It was a one-score game for most of the game. But I felt like what I've been saying all season finally came to fruition when I said, look, it's going to be a close game, but at the end of the day, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Juice, Hufanga, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Samson. We're just gonna have too many good players for you, and our good players are gonna make game-changing plays, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the Rams do have a good roster overall.
Yeah,
they still do not compare to the 49ers overall with our roster. So it's like they have a good roster, we have a great roster. So it shows that even when we're down, we can still compete.
Well, it's like I said when we were talking before the show. I said they got Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. That's essentially their defense. We got Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Talanoa, Hufanga, Javarius Ward. You see what I'm saying? So y'all got two great players on defense. We got some. Yeah. Y'all got Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp. We got Debo, George Kittle. Don't forget Juice. You caught slip and let Juice down the sideline. I mean, you saw what he could do. And let's be real. There was I don't want to say the play, but I was pretty sure it was in the first half where I believe it was an incomplete. But Juice was wide open. I mean, he might have walked in for a touchdown.
Yeah, I think it was Debo ran it out, I think is what it was. And so they all followed him. And the thing with that one is that's one of the ones that Aaron Donald came pretty free up the middle. And Jimmy just had to throw away. Like, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, no, Jimmy didn't. Like, look, man, that one, we can get into Jimmy and that whole thing. But that one, you got Aaron Donald running in your face. You would just have to either take the sack or got rid of it, and Jimmy just got rid of it. He probably didn't even see Juice. It happened so fast.
I mean, the thing that pisses me off with plays like that is, and I understand this is why playing quarterback in the NFL is difficult, but last week it was throw the ball away, don't try to buy time, and then now you're mad that he threw the ball away. Like we need to make up our mind here, people. Like, do we want Jimmy just to, hey, it's not there, throw the ball away, or do we want him to extend the play, which obviously we know is not a strong suit. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. At this point in his career, because he is what it is. Which, by the way, I love seeing Jimmy that run up the middle. I loved seeing Jimmy do that.
We haven't seen that since what, 2017, early 2018 for a few games.
2018 when he blew out his knee. I mean,
so we had that for a few games, and then the last part of 17.
And so, I love that because it's there. I don't need Jimmy to become Trey where he's looking to run or anything. No. But I mean, it's there. Go get yourself the first down. Get your ass.
I didn't like that he went head first though.
I did not either. He took a pop from Bobby Wagner too.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we'll get into the Bobby Wagner, which was honestly Ben. He was cracking. What's up, how you doing? Bang bang. We're doing legendary. Any day you wake up and it's Victory Tuesday is a legendary day. Anyway, so real quick, a little bit of housekeeping. The Niners released Willie Snead the fourth. He'll be back on practice squad, and it seems like while Danny Gray is out, Willie Snead will probably be on the roster. And also, real quick, I wanted to show y'all this. This is the benefit of having my own podcast because I can do things like this. But Mama, I made it. Your boy's t-shirt officially made the Niners website. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people might not think that's a big deal, but raise your hand if your t-shirt that you designed, by the way, has been on the Niners team site before. No? Nobody? All right, for sure.
Hey, man, it's all downhill from now.
No, really, right? That's what my girl had said. I looked at her and she goes, "Hey, babe, be careful about completing all your dreams with this podcast." She goes, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, then what else are you going to have to do with the rest of your life?" And I said, thanks, Benny. I really appreciate it. And I said, you know what, babe? That's true. I was like, I might want to be careful about, accomplishing all my dreams and everything at 36. Might not have, might be all downhill from here. But yeah, make sure you go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop and get your Kittle t-shirt. They are 20% off right now. So make sure you get those. But yeah, so I want to get into the defense first, and then we'll break up Debo and the offense and get into the MVPs and all that. But I saw this stat, and to me, this is mind-blowing. 18 out of 44 drives that the Niners D has had this year have ended in 3 and out. That's 40.9% of defensive drives have ended in 3 and out. That's almost half. The Yams have had the best game as far as fewest. That's I'm torn because statistically we have elite defense. I don't but to me it was like that pick with Gibson where he dropped the pick in the end zone and they ended up getting 3 points. I'm like, the 2019 defense, they probably get that pick and the Yams walk away with no points. And that's the little key things to me. Yeah, true. That's the little thing. I mean, by the end of the year, when we get Jimmy Ward and Huff and Charvarius Ward, and I think we might make some with what Sherman was in 2019. Not Sherman career, but what Sherman was in 2019. I think I might take Charvarius Ward. I would take Sherman over Mosley.
Well, you notice you didn't talk about him all night long. But you know who else you didn't talk about all night long? Allen Robinson.
Yeah. No, I mean, let's be real. It was Higbee and Kupp was their offense. But everyone knew that the playoffs of 49 CDs were at a different level. Yeah, no. We definitely have upgraded the secondary. And statistically, I've never seen a defense like you mean to tell me almost half the time my team is going to get a 3 and out? So if a team gets 10 drives in a game, 4 of those drives are going to be 3 and out. I trust the Niners not to give up. Well, okay, so if you say the 6 other drives they get 6 field goals, that's 18 points. I trust the Niners to win a ball game if we're only giving up 18 points more times than not. I literally read you the stat of 24 and 4 when we give up 17 points or fewer. So if the team's only giving up 17 points or fewer, and I mean to hold them out of the end zone, that's my thing about it is because the Yams in between the 20s, they were moving the ball fairly well. They remind me early of the Baltimore defenses that have no weakness. See, to me, I was thinking that. But to me, Benny, the 0-1 Baltimore stops Russell Wilson on that drive last week. Ed Reed comes up with the pick. Ray Lewis comes up with a sack or a pick or forces some. I don't
Tony
think
Saragusa plugs up the middle.
Something happens. I don't think we're at that level yet. By the end of the season, I do believe we're going to get there when you insert Jimmy Ward. Who, by the way, actually, we'll go ahead and we'll get to Kyle speaking about Jimmy Ward and Jason Verrett. Right. Let me see.
Yeah, they're
right
eligible to return this week. We expect to get them out there tomorrow.
So he says, I guess it cut it off, but he expects him to come back tomorrow. So you add Jason Verrett to this secondary when he's not necessarily going to need to be a starter. You have Sammy Womack, which to me it seems more of what Diamador Lenore is doing, not what Sammy Womack's not doing. Diamador Lenore just seems to be practicing.
He's got the hot hand.
You got Jason Verrett. Yeah, you add Jason Verrett and then Jimmy Ward back and Gibson, who's been outstanding, goes to the bench. And that's the type of defense, that's the type of secondary depth that we have.
Yeah.
Are we the
We're
deepest
already
secondary
number one
in the
defense?
league?
Look, we have the best defense in the league, and the reinforcements are coming. You know what I mean? Like we're starting to feel. Granted, we're losing a few depending on what goes on with like Armstead and Kinlaw, but it's been shown that defensive line is still deep and we're still getting pressure constantly. But now we're just adding into the secondary. It's like, where are we going to fit all these damn good players right now?
I mean, are we going to come up with a 5D lineman and 6 defensive back fucking formation or some shit? I don't know. Like, speaking, we'll go ahead and get to the injuries right now. We got a couple clips on that.
Injuries from the game. Colton McKivitz ended up having an MCL sprain. He's going to be out a while. Very similar to what Elijah and Aziz have. Eric Armstead with the split/ankle. He's still being evaluated right now, so don't have any new information for you guys yet. Jawan Jennings had an ankle sprain in the game. He'll be day-to-day this week. He put up a big fight to try to play on Monday, but he wasn't that close to going. But he wanted to work out before the game, so we gave him a chance, and we decided to be a lot safer to wait this week and see how he reacts. We'll see how this week plays out. Really haven't discussed it yet, but most likely it'll be Jalen Moore, but we know Dan's always an option.
So they're talking about how who's going to replace McKivitz at left tackle. We'll get in when we get in the offense. I'm going to play Bosa getting held and Shanahan on the right guard rotation. But yeah, I mean, to your point, Eric Armstead looks like it's going to be week, day to day, whatever that is. But we're adding reinforcements to this already. I'm sorry.
Isn't it plantar fasciitis?
I don't know how to say
it.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it's exactly. I was really impressed with how the O-line handled Donald. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second when we start breaking down the offense. But yeah, so to me, it's just about how far can this defense carry this football team? Because I think it's going to be a roller coaster offensively all year. So the defense is going to have to carry us. It's not going to be what we expected, where the defense is going to have to carry us. Eventually, Trey would develop, and then he would be able to pull the offense. It's clear Jimmy's not going to hold the offense back, but Jimmy's not going to elevate the offense. So this is clearly a defensive-driven team this year. I think it's pretty safe to say that. The offense
it's just reverted back to what it was for the last few years. It's just reverted back to what it was, 2019, 2020, 2021. It's just, that's all it is. We know exactly what we're going to get. The defense is going to have to, pull more than their share. And we're going to have to hope Jimmy doesn't, make those bonehead throws that he does here and there. Like last night, I thought he played a pretty damn good game of, game manager football. And I don't use the term game manager as necessarily as an insult like a lot of people do. There is nothing wrong with getting the ball to your player. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with just manage it and getting the ball to your players and let them make plays. That's all you have to do as a quarterback in this offense. But when he throws those high balls, we got lucky on that one from Debo. That ball should have been picked. Mm-hmm. There was a couple other high balls that he threw. Yeah. But there's also on Jimmy's fence, the one third down that Jennings dropped hit him right between the numbers, went right through his name. So, like I said, we know what we're getting with Jimmy. This offense can still be pretty good with Jimmy at offense. It just won't be as dynamic coming from Jimmy to where we were expecting it to be dynamic coming from Trey. So,
yeah,
we got
exactly. So, I mean, to talk about the offensive line, I mean, I want to play Shanahan on the right guard rotation real quick because I thought that was pretty interesting, and I have a couple.
Thoughts on it. Brunskill just got back for the first time in about a month. He's done real good versus these guys, and Spencer's done a hell of a job too here in this month. But we planned on mixing him in there a little bit so he didn't have to take too many reps. But I'm not sure how it ended up.
So I haven't. What I got from that comment was, I'm going to paraphrase Kyle here. We were going to play Aaron Donald's daddy in this football game. We just didn't want to start him because we're not going to bring him back to 70 snaps of football. Oh, yeah. We're not going to, I just typed that, LOL. Yeah, we're not going to get, we're going to play Aaron Donald's daddy. We're just not necessarily going to play him 70 snaps for his first action all season. But I thought Burford struggled a little bit, but I'm okay with that because that's Aaron fucking Donald. You know, he's supposed to do that. There's no way a 5th round rookie should be able to handle Aaron Donald because if not, then 31 other teams blew that. If Spencer Burford, the first time he could ever play, shuts down Aaron Donald, the Niners got the steal of the fucking draft. But I thought he held his own. And the thing that I loved about the offensive line yesterday was they weren't the issue. They weren't perfect. It wasn't beautiful. Jimmy was under some pressure, but I don't remember Jimmy getting rocked, except for that one he took off, which was his fault because he needs to slide there. But I feel that the offensive line did way better than I anticipated, and especially when, if you would have told me that the Niners were going to pass more than they ran, I would have said that it was going to be an ugly game because we passed more than we ran because we had to, because we were behind. I would have not guessed that we were ultimately. I would have not guessed that we were going to be ahead most of the game, and especially with how close the game was, and still passed it more than we do, and the offensive line hold up without a sack.
Well, it also helps that we put Jimmy in the. If Jimmy had been under center most of the game, that changes all of that, in my opinion. But putting him back,
and he got the ball out.
Yeah, so because we were doing that short, quick passing game, putting him in the shotgun, which he's a better shotgun passer than people give him credit for.
He said it.
Yeah,
he said it. He'd rather be in the shotgun.
Yeah.
So most quarterbacks want to be in the shotgun.
Yeah. But the difference is, you want to go in the center because then you got the, the play actions and all that kind of stuff. So, but we'll see. Like I said, but that's a lot of that. We'll see how that changes next week because the Rams defensive line, it's their interior that's stout. That's where also we're the weakest offensive line. So I'm curious if that changes a little bit next week and Jimmy spends more time under center just so we get some more of that play action stuff going.
And I want to say I haven't seen Jimmy's yards per target and all that type of crazy shit. But the thing that irritates me the most about it when people talk about that is, so wait, I just read you the stats at the beginning of the show of pretty much the dominance of the Yams that we've had under Shanahan. So it's pretty much been the same game plan every time. So it's worked to the fact that since 2019, since 2018, they haven't beat us in the regular season. So that's 19, 20, 21, and now one game into 2022. You're complaining because we continue to do what's working. I'm confused. I'm confused if it's clearly led to this domination of the Yams. Why would we change it? It's the same thing I said in 2019 when, yes, of course, Shanahan didn't trust Jimmy. And he was going to say, hey, I know I'm better. I know we can beat this team. I'm not going to allow you to change it. But it was working. So why would, in 2019, the NFC Championship game, and shit, throughout the whole playoffs, running the ball was working. Why would we stop doing it? If little throw passes and getting the ball out of Jimmy's hands in 2 point or 1 point whatever seconds is working, why the fuck would you stop? Why? So it looks pretty in fantasy. I just, that shit just pisses me off. And I know it's
not like the running game was
listen to some podcasts. It really wasn't. And that's what was surprising me. And that's what the two things that I came out of the game with is I'm surprised we couldn't run the ball as well as we did. And I'm surprised it didn't bite us in the ass as much as it did. We ran the ball enough, but I believe, unless I'm mistaken, Let me go ahead and see. Time of possession. Yeah,
Probably
they had
less,
more time of
about 25. 25
they had 34
runs.
and we had 25, 26. Let me see. Run plays. Let me see. Um, total first downs.
While he's looking at that
We
thing,
had
we definitely want that Mimi.
okay, so we had 22 carries. They had 18. Okay, so sorry, I missed the
Doesn't that
comment.
do?
So yeah, but yeah,
I got
let me see. Oh, you got it. Okay. Yeah, exactly. But no, so the run game wasn't that dominant, but it did us enough. Third downs were a little bit concerning. We ended up, what was it? Oh yeah, okay, it's right here. 5 of 12. So 41.7%. That's not
It's better than we did
the
against Denver.
greatest, but yeah, way better than we did against Denver. And I feel a lot secure because what I'm hoping is this allows us to get in this rhythm, get us some practice time over in the Greenbrier. Well, that would be next week. It is actually a late. It's a 105, or I want to say this right. It's a 4:00 Eastern kickoff this week.
Yeah.
Even though it's in Carolina for some reason. So I like that. Gives us a week to adjust our body clocks, and so we don't have to face the 10 a.m. game, which will be our last 10 a.m. game of the year. We'll have a full week of adjusting to the Eastern time zone. I love that. I see the Niners coming back 2-0 from this trip.
Yeah.
I definitely would be disappointed if we lose to Carolina. Definitely, damn sure disappointed against Atlanta. But I will put the ass, and I'm not gonna. I'm curious to see how many players from when Shanahan are truly there. It's a different head coach. I know Matt Ryan ain't there. Julio Jones ain't there. So I mean, how many players really?
Oh, it's a
Kevin
completely different
Coleman
team.
isn't there.
That
It's a
whole
completely different.
system.
So it won't be that Super Bowl revenge,
Nah.
factor or anything like that.
I mean,
Carolina
even
should be easy work.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's gone.
Obviously a cold. Yeah, so I mean, there's a whole new. I think the only one there is what's his name that's suspended right now. The wide receiver, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. Who?
Oh,
the one who bet on the game. I can't think of who this is. Oh, I can see his. Damn it.
I know. I'm thinking Mohamed Sanu, but I know it's not Mohamed Sanu.
It wasn't Sanu.
White? Was it White?
Roddy White?
Here, let me look it up.
I know. Now I'm looking it up.
Jason, while Jason looks that up. So I hope that we get in a rhythm because we talked about it a lot in the offseason. Calvin Ridley, there you go. What he was there with Shanahan?
I'm pretty sure he was. Was he?
Yeah, this is let me see. 1 p.m. Yeah, this is our last 10 a.m. game. And this is the last time we leave the West Coast. So this is where I expect the Niners to make their run.
He wasn't. He got there in 18.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay.
Oh,
so
Benny's in Atlanta, so he should know.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so this is our last East Coast tip. So this is where you and I were talking about where we think the Niners are going to get their chunk. This right here is going to be where I think you're starting to get to see where the 2022 season is going to take us, because we're not leaving the West Coast. For the rest of the season. We have no early games the rest of the season. Obviously, we still have our Thursday night game. But
plus we got the Mexico City game. So I mean, there's that whole
Mexico City game. So I'm not saying like, oh, we're gonna go all undefeated and everything, but I mean, this is where I see the Niners getting a chunk of our wins. This is where you say, okay, we need to take advantage of this schedule, and you know what? Probably pull out a couple that maybe you weren't expecting us, like maybe the Mexico City game, just because of all the outside factors of that. Because we lost to the Bears,
Yeah,
I'll
'cause we
chalk
gotta
up the
make that up.
Broncos. I'll chalk up the Broncos. But losing the Bears to me is the one that I say was no excuse, and this is one of the weeks that we need to make it up. Not necessarily the next 2 weeks, but
Atlanta worries me simply because Mark beaten on the door of Marcus Mariota forever, and it's just because he's another island boy like me. But we always seem to struggle against them scrambling quarterbacks, and he's been decent when it's been coming to scrambling so far this season. So like I said, that's just me. Maybe that's just me thing with overthinking how good Mariota is. Yeah, definitely Kyle Pitts. So I mean, we did
because of the bad field. Yeah. We're not going to rehash week 1 or whatever. But look, this is the type of ball game that I could definitely see Mariota scrambling, and hitting Kyle Pitts on a fluke touchdown with 15 seconds left in the game because we were only up by 6.
Yeah.
Fluke things can happen. Any player can make a play. Any player can have a day. What was that receiver? Yeah, I mean, you feel me? I guarantee you that's probably the highlight of Dante Pettis' career.
Is either that or a touchdown on Halloween?
No. Okay, so no, I would truly think probably two highlights of Dante Pettis' career. When you talk to him, it's probably the touchdown with the Bears because of what it meant and who it came against and all that. If I was going to play a Dante Pettis highlight tape right now, the number one highlight would be the game-winning touchdown against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And the touchdown in Minnesota, because that touchdown in Minnesota was sweet. But anyway, so any player can make a play. So this is a game that I don't want to say dominate as in blowout, but I feel that this should be a solid win these next 2 weeks. And then we're getting our momentum back, and we'll see what. And yeah, and we'll see where we're at when we come in versus Kansas City, and maybe Atlanta's a letdown game just because of Kansas City coming in, the week after. But one other thing I want to get. What's up, bro? How you doing?
What's up,
bro?
media?
I always tell you, hit me, bro. You know you're welcome anytime. Broncos was the worst and the most boring one. Yeah, most definitely. Mimi. So before we get to the Kittle Corn MVP and all that, I think that's the last thing we got to do.
We haven't done defense.
I want to. What happened?
Did we do defense stuff, or did I miss that part?
Yeah, we did defense. That's what we started with.
We started. Anyways, you know what's going on with me today. I'm missing stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. Mimi. Anyway, so I know we're both off today for reasons. Anyway, before we get all to that, I wanted to play this highlight from Shanahan real quick. On
I couldn't agree with you more. It's something I've seen a lot with him since he's been here, going back to his first year in the Super Bowl. So it's always been tough with that. But yeah, we turn everything in every week, and sometimes they agree, sometimes they don't. But that's kind of the standard quo when anything has to do with that, and you just hope it improves.
So yeah, that's
it's not going to change. It's not.
I don't want to rehash this because we'll get into this. We could discuss this literally every show that we ever do. Nick Bosa gets held in the offseason. But so he gets held in team drills.
That's a good one.
I mean, so
that's actually pretty damn good.
I mean, Nick Bosa gets held in the offseason.
It's anyway, that they're holding, and it's like their hands are inside like this, and you can kind of get away with that. They are just putting the brother in headlocks and choking him. It's like it's blatantly obvious. You can't even, like I said,
So,
if there was the inside,
I'm gonna show
people
you.
do like this. Fuck it, I don't care. Come on. That's what it looks like.
That's what I have saved the picture from Twitter. That's literally what was happening to Nick Bosa in Denver. I saw a couple just live where I just laughed. Like I literally laughed.
Yeah.
And my thing about it is I don't it's frustrating because offense sells offense pack stadiums and all that. But what I think you're preventing somebody from becoming a historic player, a great player. Why would the NFL not want that? Why would the NFL not want to sell more Nick Bosa jerseys?
We got let Russ cook. Can we let Bosa eat or something?
Yeah,
can we do
let
this?
Bosa eat. Hashtag let Bosa eat.
Yeah, there you go. Because I mean, look, like you said, he could be on the verge of greatness if we were actually playing football according to the rules that seem to go with every other defensive end but him. Let Bosa eat. Because even when he's getting in those headlocks, he is still pushing them back. And he's almost getting to the quarterback. Imagine if he was just not held. Not WWE to the ground
He's on
almost
pace.
every other play.
He's on pace for 25.5 sacks.
I know. It's ridiculous.
25.5 sacks. Okay, so I have a note for Bosa that I wanted to get into. Leads the NFL with 6 sacks and is officially now tied for 10th all-time in franchise history with Jeff Stover for 30.5 sacks. He is the first Niner ever to have one or more sacks in the first 4 games. This is also another defensive note. 4 straight game without a first half touchdown allowed, most since 6 straight in 2011. Those are the last little notes, but that's what I'm talking about. And this is why I bring this up, because you're preventing from Nick Bosa from being in the GOAT discussion. I'm not saying that he will be, but I'm saying like
at least single season wise,
The man has 30.5 sacks and has really only played 2 full seasons, and then 4 games this year. He's only played 19 and 21, and then 5 games because he played 1 in 20, and then started the second one, and then has played 4 this year. So he's played 2 years and 5 games, and it's already 10th time in the Niner all-time sack leaders. You're preventing this man from becoming an all-time great. And isn't that what you want? I mean, I don't understand why now I understand not every holding call, and I understand like you can't let Nick Bosa get 6 sacks every game. I get it, but
you can.
To me, it's the game-changing ones. It's the one it's the one in the Super Bowl where literally that cost us the championship. It's the ones in the NFC Championship games that allow the Yams to extend 3 drives that I believe 2 ended up with points in a 1-score ball game. It's those. Yeah, go ahead and find that, bro, because I'm all about the Nick Bosa stats. While I pull up the video for we'll go ahead and we'll get into the offensive Kittle-Corn MVP, offensive MVP of the week. I mean, how could you go besides one Mr. Deebo Samuel? 6 catches, 115 yards, and 1 touchdown. 10th 100-yard game of his career, first season and first receiving touchdown. In the show notes, we will officially have an affiliate link that you can click on and save 10% on all Deebo Samuel gear at shop49ers.com. And then we'll go ahead and do the Bam Bam defensive MVP of the week. One, Talanoa, Huff Daddy. 4 tackles, 3 solos, a touchdown. Also, an affiliate link available for all Hufanga. His jersey available in the show notes. And description of this video and podcast. Go ahead, Jason.
All right, so as of right now, through 4 weeks, Nick Bosa, first, 6. Hits, first with 10. Pass rush win percentage, 29.3, first. Pass rush productivity, 15.5, first. Hurries, 14, second. Nick Bosa gets pressure on a quarterback. This, by the way, this is just Nick Bosa. 30.2% of the time. Average league percentage, 32%. That's just Bosa is above the average, or is almost equal to the entire every other team's, average.
Okay.
It's just ridiculous how good he's playing right now.
So that means, so you said he gets it on 30% pressure on 30% of plays, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means out of their 70 plays that the Yams had yesterday, Nick Bosa got pressure on 21 of them. If that 30% held up.
Yeah. And then you're looking at probably another 10 to 15% added on because he was held.
Yeah. I mean, that's Hall of Fame. That's championship. Like,
Could
that's
you
the type
actually
of
say
player
Lawrence
that you win
Taylor?
championships because. Yeah. Can you?
I mean,
Okay,
at this
I'll
rate,
put it to Niners. I'll put it to Niners because LT was a linebacker, a little bit different game.
yeah.
I would put him up with Charles Haley. I mean, you've got to put him up with Charles Haley, right? And see, to me, I feel that Nick Bosa is different than Charles Haley, and a little different, but is and way different than Alden because Nick Bosa is a 3-down player. Nick Bosa will make game-changing plays on the run. I mean, I remember that one that ended a Saints drive in New Orleans, and it was a run play, and he just blew it up for like a 6-yard loss, and it ended up forcing them to punt. And in the game that we won by 3 points, that pretty much it was whoever got the ball last was gonna win. That one possession mattered. And I don't know enough about Charlie Haley's career as far as like watching him play to know how much of a great player he was against the run.
He was.
But he's
no, I'm not talking about.
I know he was good against the
where
run.
We could go.
But yeah. I mean, I put him. Of course, you can't put him up with Charles Haley yet, just because he doesn't have the numbers. But as far as I bet you, maybe that'll be my homework for the week, and I'll do that on the pregame. I'd be interested to see their production at this point in their career, game wise, not necessarily this point in their careers, because you gotta look at the fact Nick Bosa lost a year and all that. But as far as how many games, I bet you Charles Haley and Nick Bosa are pretty damn similar. If not, Nick Bosa probably a little bit better.
Yeah. And yeah, Benny, I wasn't going to say that he's going to be Lawrence Taylor and or Charles Haley, because obviously it's a slightly different position, but he'd have that same sort of impact on the field overall. But like I said, it's still too early, but I'm just saying, like, you get that same kind of a vibe with how dominant he's being right now.
I mean, I think that if you have to redraft the draft, do you think Arizona's taking Nick Bosa, or you still think they're taking Kyler Murray?
I think you easily take Bosa.
You gotta take Nick Bosa. You gotta take Nick Bosa number one, right?
Yeah.
Like
easily.
Kyler Murray's fine, like whatever. You gotta take Nick Bosa number one overall.
Me, I've always thought I would take
for the Cardinals
defensive end.
Yeah, I mean, good point. I think you compare him to Reggie White.
Yeah, you could throw him the same. He's the same kind.
Well, yeah. Same type of career. I mean,
yeah.
I definitely expect to see dual number 97s in the Ring of Honor when Nick Bosa retires. And I think that this will be the one thing that I pray, if Jed York learns any lesson from a mistake that his uncle made, whatever you do not let Nick Bosa walk out that door. Like the Niners did Charles Haley. Don't let Nick, if that's any mistake that Jed learns that his uncle made. Because I literally think Eddie D allowing Charles Haley to be traded cost us at least a championship, maybe 2. You know, I think we're sitting at 6 or 7. But anyway, it's NFL. Obviously, we're saying this because we're Niner fans, but NFL, you got to do something about this, because I'll accept superstar players get calls. That's just, as a Laker fan, I accept Kobe got calls that other players just didn't get because he was Kobe. I'll accept that. Jerry probably got some PI calls or got away with some shit just because he was there. Dion probably got away with some shit because he was Dion. Richard Sherman, I mean, I've said this his whole career, including when he was a Niner. Richard Sherman essentially holds every play and says, you can't call it every play.
Yeah, the Legion of Boom changed how defensive backs have been officiated. They really did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. That and what the Patriots did to the greatest show on turf, I believe, were the two secondaries that had because they just manhandled the Yams of that whole
they
Super
just
Bowl.
start there tackling them basically.
And so, yeah, they're basically tackling them. And so those are the two secondaries I think have the most impact on what we see in modern day NFL, which you always talk about. Steve Young does weekly hits on KMBR, and he always talks about how he would basically, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but how he'd give his right nut, get it, because he's left-handed. Anyway, he'd give his right nut to basically be able to play in today's NFL, right? I always have been curious. Could you imagine with today, with Jerry's rules? Jerry with these rules? And the way the offenses are designed and tailored to what Jerry Rice's skill set was? At least this offense. Like, could you imagine Jerry in this offense? Kyle Shanahan's offense? What he would do with it? Oh my God. Anyway, so I think that about wraps it up. Jason, final thoughts?
Good team win. Definitely got to keep this momentum going. Like you talked about earlier, about we got to win games like this. This is the part of the season where we wanted to see a lot of development coming from Trey. Well, we're not obviously going to see that from Trey, so let's put that development, not necessarily to develop in Jimmy, but let's get this offense in sync, because we already know it doesn't need to necessarily develop. It just needs to get back into sync, figure out what we're doing, get everybody healthy, and let's move forward. Let's, like I said, damn good game. Just keep doing this over and over and over.
Yeah. So final thoughts here. Like you said, great team win. Feels good that this was the first.
Feels great, baby.
Feels great, baby. Feels legendary, baby. But this is the first game where I felt wasn't perfect, but this is the San Francisco 49ers I expect to see against a quality opponent that wasn't the Shecox where you're just like, yeah, we should demolish them. This was the first win where I feel justified with what we've been saying off season is, hey, you know what? We're that team. We're a contender, et cetera, et cetera. This is the first game I can point to and say, see, told y'all. And we did it without Trent Williams.
Yeah.
I mean,
arguably the best player on this team.
Big props. Yeah. No. Yeah.
You can argue both.
Most important.
You can argue Debo.
Yeah, most important player.
Yeah, that I don't think is a question.
That's even hard. That's even hard. I would say more important if Trey was playing versus Jimmy.
No, I think it's more important for Jimmy because Jimmy's not mobile.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, we'll get on another 45
minutes. Tomatoes, all the same thing.
Like that. Yep. All right, y'all. Thanks for checking in. Thanks, Jason. Y'all doing Friday 7 for Good Morning Niner Empire?
7. Good morning this evening,
Yeah.
Niner Empire. We got to figure out a new name for this thing.
Yeah. We're going to wait.
Maybe good. Just change it to Good
Before
Evening.
we go. Yeah. No. We are the first. We're first in the NFC West. I don't get into power rankings and all that type of shit. Like, this ain't the show for that, brother. But yes, we are in first place in the NFC West. And everybody, it's not going to be like this. We're going to separate us from the pack, and it's going to be us and the Yams. It's going to be us and the Yams for this division.
Yep.
I feel confident in that. I feel this: if the Yams, the only way I see the Yams winning the division is if they finish with a better record than us, because I don't see us splitting. So we're going to sweep them. And so the only way they win the division is if they get a better record than us. So I ultimately think that the division will ultimately be ours. But we'll find out within the next couple of weeks. I'm excited. This is the part of the season that I've been really looking forward to. This last good next month and a half, 2 months of Niner football are going to be what we live for. All right, brother. We'll see you on Friday for Good Morning Niner Empire and on halftime.
Indeed. Take care, everybody.
Deuces. Oh, don't sleep on the cards that get Hopkins back, and it could be a different team. You know, hey Benny, when do they get Hopkins back? When do they get Hopkins back? Hold on, let me ask Jason if he's still on. Do you know when we get Hopkins back? Do you know when we get Hopkins back? Hi, my bad. Do you know when we get when the Cardinals get Hopkins back?
Hey, you brought me back on. No, I can't hear anything.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Do you know when they get the Cardinals get Hopkins back? Is that before or after they play us the first time? I was just curious if you knew off the top of your head.
Not off the top of my head.
8 games.
6 games. So yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back in a couple weeks.
6 or 8.
It's
okay,
6.
So shit. Okay, so we'll have them both times.
Back.
All right, brother. We'll see you next week. All right. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm worried about them playing us because they just always cause us issues. But I'm not afraid of them in the hunt for the division. I don't think they'll threaten us for the division, but I could easily see them splitting against them this year. We shall see in a couple weeks. Next time we play on Monday Night Football. All right, y'all. But before we get out of here, we of course got to thank everybody for tuning in to the show and remind y'all that this week's code for 10% off of for season 2 for the faithful by the faithful apparel is Beat the Kitties. 10% excludes any on-sale items and cannot be used with any other coupon code. Code expires midnight, October 11th. Make sure you save 10% by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link and help out Niner Faithful Radio. Link is in the description of the podcast or video. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Jason does a bang-up job handling social media. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the podcast, visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. Check out Good Morning Niner Empire Friday at 7 p.m. here on the West Coast. Check out our game day shows, pregame coming at noon, halftime at halftime, and postgame coming up at 9 p.m. here on the West Coast. I shall see y'all next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners! Yay!
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
See ya.